Hey there, ready to talk about the past? In this explainer, we're going to master it. We're going to focus on just two little words that will totally unlock your ability to talk about yesterday, last week, or, even years ago. And the best part, it is way, way easier than you might think. So let's just jump right in with a question for you. Where were you yesterday? Were you at home? At work? Maybe the gym? To even answer that question, you need the exact words we're talking about today. And yup, that's exactly what we're here to do. We're going to get you confidently using was and were to describe all those things. Where you were, how you felt, what a situation was like. It's all about describing a state of being, just, in the past. All right, let's get into it. Forget all the complicated grammar rules you've ever heard for a minute. All I want you to do is focus on these two words, was and were. Just think of them as our two heroes for today, the only tools you're going to need. Yep, you heard that right. Just two. And it's kind of funny, but the past is actually simpler here. When you're talking about the present, you have to juggle three words, am, is, and are. But for the past, we just need two. So much easier. Okay, so here's the one and only rule. You really need to get this down. Think of it this way. If it's just one person or thing, I, he, she, it, you're going to use was. For you and for groups like we and they, you use were. That's it. That's the whole foundation right there. Okay, so we've got the rule. So what now? Let's actually start using it, right? We're going to start by building some really basic sentences, both the positive kind, and then we'll flip them to the negative. So let's look at some positive sentences. I was a student 3 years ago. That describes who you were. The weather was cold last weekend. That describes a condition. And we were late for the meeting. That's a past situation. See how they just state a fact about the past? Simple. Okay, that's great for saying what did happen. But what about the opposite? What if you weren't a student or the weather wasn't cold? How do we flip the whole meaning? Well, it is super easy. It all comes down to one tiny but really powerful word, not. Now, this is important because this is how people really talk. I mean, sure, was not and were not are totally correct, but in an everyday conversation, you are almost always going to hear the shorter versions, wasn't and weren't. And let's see how smooth that sounds in real sentences. She wasn't tired. My phone wasn't in my bag. You weren't here yesterday. See? It's simple, it's direct, and it just sounds totally natural. Okay, so we can say what was and what wasn't. That's a huge step. But conversation is a two-way street, right? We need to get information from other people. So now let's look at how we can ask questions about the past. So let's take a basic sentence here, a simple statement of fact. They were ready. Got it? Keep that sentence in your head because we're about to do a little magic trick with it. Ready for this? It's going to blow your mind how easy this is. To turn a sentence into a question, you literally just do two things. First, find was or were. Second, just move it to the very front of the sentence. So, they were ready becomes, were they ready? That's it. You just flip it. And this is what it looks like in a full back and forth. And you'll notice a really cool pattern here. The short answers always echo the question. If I ask you, was he busy? You answer, yes, he was, or no, he wasn't. If I ask, were they ready? You answer with were or weren't. The answer is right there in the question. All right, enough talk. Theory time is over. We've covered the rules, we've seen the examples. Now it's your turn. Time to put what you've learned into action. Let's do some practice. Okay, first up, my parents, on vacation last month. What do you think? Is it was or were? Take a second. It's were. If you got that, awesome. And why is that? Well, parents means more than one person, right? It's like saying they. So they were on vacation. Makes perfect sense. Okay, you ready for the next one? Let's switch gears a bit. Here's a positive statement for you. The food was excellent. How would you make that negative? Yep, the food wasn't excellent. You just stick that int on the end. Easy peasy. You are really getting the hang of this. Okay, now you're going to build a question from scratch. The clues are she and happy. How do you ask about her feelings in the past using those two words? Nailed it. Was she happy?
You remembered to just pop that was right at the beginning because the subject is she. Great job.
Okay, let's step it up a notch. This one has two blanks. Don't worry, you can do it. My brother, blank, born in Paris, but I, blank. What do you think goes in those blanks? And there you have it. The first part is a positive fact. My brother was born in Paris. And the second part is a negative contrast. But I wasn't. See how cool that is? You're using both a positive and a negative in the same sentence to compare things. Okay, so you have the tools in your toolbox now. So here is your final challenge, your mission should you choose to accept it. Think about your last vacation and try to describe it. The weather was, the hotel was, the people were, the food wasn't. Just see how much of the story you can tell using only was, wasn't, were, and weren't. It's a fantastic way to realize just how powerful these two simple words really are.